See how she goes. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2022 Lexus RC 350 F Sport. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with this RC. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 311 horsepower and then 280 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the RC 350 F Sport. So first off, you guys can see you've got really nice body lines here on the side of the hood, and then the center part is completely flat, which gives it this really cool low appearance. And then coming down below, we've got the LED accent light with all of the projector bulbs. Definitely love the new styling on the lights. And then you guys can see here off to the side, you've got a little bit of accenting right there. Parking sensors here integrated into the front grille. We've got the Lexus logo that doubles as a sensor, and overall, I think it's a really good looking car from a front end perspective. Definitely has a cool, sporty, aggressive appearance to it. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design and the coloration on the wheels. I think it looks really cool here, especially in contrast to the paint color on this particular car. Definitely has a nice upscale appearance to it. Got the F Sport badge right there, and then also got the two-tone mirrors, which I think is another nice little touch. You can see this one does have a sunroof. And stepping back here, looking at the full side profile, I love the look of this. You guys can see really nice body lines here at the bottom. You can see really nice hips there at the back as well, and overall it lends to it having a really cool sporty appearance to it. Now here is the key fob. We have the lock, the unlock, and then the opening here for the trunk. Just hold the trunk button down and then it'll pop all the way open for you, which is definitely a nice little feature to have. And then you guys can see we've got quite a bit happening here. We of course have the first aid kit that comes with all Lexuses and Toyotas, which is pretty cool. And you've got the floor mats as well. And then you guys can see under here the little bit of extra storage space. And other than that, trunk storage space is really good here in the back. But the main question is, I said Lexuses. Is it Lexuses or Lexusi? Or what's the plural? Let me know, guys. Anyways, there you go. Now let's finish things here in the rear. You guys can see that sharp body line there, looks really good. And then popping here to the back, you can see the taillights. You've got these LED taillights. Again, they look really sharp, have a sporty, aggressive appearance to them, and they also mimic the Lexus logo. You've got parking sensors here on the back. You got the Lexus logo right there, and then also the back camera just down below it. Got our all-wheel drive RC 350 badge, and that's all for the rear. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see the trim piece here at the top, and then the leather down below with the red stitching, and then notice we got the red leather here in this area. Got the window controls right there, and then also we got the door lock and unlock. We've got the mirror adjustments, memory seats as well, and then we've got blind spot monitoring here for the front mirror. F Sport badge right there, and well, first off, we're actually gonna pop to the rear, so you just have to put that seat forward, and notice that it's going forward for me, which is definitely nice. And you know what? I guess we'll put the old man slippers to work and pop here into the back. Okay, so legroom obviously is a little bit more on the cramped side of things, but I do get some vents if I'm sitting back here. I have this little kind of like storage space right here, and also there's nice leather padding here on this portion of the rear, and then look at the seats. Just perfection. In terms of headroom, yeah, it's cramped back here, but anyways, let's head to the front. As the front seat is moving back, you guys can see again beautiful red leather with the black on the back, perforations here in the center portion, and then you guys can see the adjustments down below. We've got the pedals right here, which again look really nice and premium. We've got a bunch of controls here in this section. The main stuff, right, blind spot monitoring, parking sensors, all that stuff. Steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one we're looking before we pop in. So here's our steering wheel with the RC. You guys can see really nice leather there at the top that's smoother, and then at the bottom, and then we've got perforated leather here on the sides to get a better grip. And then notice we've got the red stitching there on the center portion. We have our controls here for the center stack, lane departure, and then the cruise control all in this area. Paddle shifters here for that 6-speed automatic. We've got our volume and voice command controls on the other side. Turn signal light stock, and then we have our windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Here is the center gauge cluster. This has the cool trick gauge cluster that moves to the side when you press the little Pages menu button, which I think is a pretty cool little, you know, party trick and all that fun stuff. You guys can see you can scroll through a few different menus right there, and then, you know, when you're done, you just press it to the side and then it goes away. We do have some different drive modes. We have an eco mode, and then we have a normal, and we have a custom, and then we have a sport mode, and then we have a sport plus mode as well. Notice how it gets really aggressive. We also do have a snow mode on top of that. So if I go into normal, you guys can see the snow button pop up right there. But anyways, there's the center. So here is the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. You guys can see we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel, which is definitely solid, and you guys can see resolution on the cameras. Great. Now, as for the infotainment system itself, it's not touchscreen. It's controlled via a little keypad, which is super easy to use. Works with my gloves, which is great. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'd have to say, easy to use infotainment system. It'd be cool if it was a touchscreen, but this is easy enough, and it's, I'll show you guys the keypad in a second. I think it's something you could get used to. We have our beautiful Lexus clock right here. We've got our climate controls. It does have a dual zone climate, and it's got the cool little slider there for the temperature, which I'm a big fan of. Analog controls for the radio. We do have heated seats, heated steering wheel, cooled seats, and all that fun stuff. And then over there, you can see the same thing on the passenger side. We have the gear selector for that 6-speed automatic. It does have a manual shift function. And then you get your drive mode select, and then you guys can see this, display control, auto hold, snow mode. And then this is to control the infotainment system. Got a couple cup holders here, and you can see a nice leather here. There's a center console setup. And then you guys can see here with the padding on the dash, and then the trim here on the top of the glove box, which definitely looks nice and premium. And overall, the interior on this is very solid. Now, popping here up to the top, we do have a sunroof, and you guys can see it's just a manual shade. I like how it has like the two different, you know, if you just want it there or if you want it all the way. Anyways, the headliner is very soft to the touch, which is also a nice plus. Controls for the center for right there, and also black headliner. Now here's our window sticker for this RC 350 F Sport. You guys can see all of the standard equipment, so just freeze the frame if you want to read through that. And then you guys can see the base price and then the options on this particular one. And then you guys can see the total MSRP right there, $58,235. And let's take it out and see how it drives. Well, let's go over visibility before we set off. There's visibility of the hood, and also very nice with the leather there. Both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we are setting off here on the RC 350 F Sport, and also gauge clusters in kilometers. I'm too lazy to switch it over, but you know what? We'll just try this out for this review. We'll just see what happens, right? Anyways, actually setting off here in the car, so smooth. I love the suspension. This is something that just is across the lineup with Lexus, is they're so good at making just really comfortable cars. The ride quality is really smooth. The seats are so comfortable. Like, the seats hold you in place really well, but on top of that, they just like, they have like enough support, but they're also soft enough that like I could just sit in this seat for hours and hours and not be uncomfortable. And I can definitely attest to that because I had, if you guys remember, I had that RCF Fuji Track Edition for a week, and yeah, super comfortable to daily drive, even like the craziest version of the RC, which is just a testament to how good of a daily driver this car is. But yeah, it's quiet. And you know, I can see why so many people just love to daily drive Lexuses, right? They're obviously super reliable, but they're also just, again, like, they're so comfortable. We're going over the good old train tracks. Yeah, doesn't upset it at all. And see how she goes. That's solid from an acceleration perspective, definitely solid. Don't know how fast I'm going in miles per hour, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's super good. I'm impressed. So you guys know I also had the new IS 350 for a week as well, which same engine, same transmission, same everything, basically. And what I'd have to say is, I love the all-wheel drive, but the 8-speed automatic that you get with the V8s is definitely a big upgrade, and it definitely makes things a lot better with the car. So continuing along here in the RC, I guess that we'll kind of get into summing things up here with this car. So first off, exterior wise, I think it looks fantastic. It's one of the best looking cars, and that's the thing is, you know, I know some people won't necessarily love certain parts of Lexus styling, but you can't deny that, like, they look good. Like, it just, I don't know, they always just look good to me, especially in the cars. Some of the SUVs, sometimes I can be iffy about it, but the cars, they always look good to me. I feel like Lexus just, they know how to make a good looking car. And then interior wise, beautiful. Seats are really comfortable, touch points are nice, everything feels very well put together. It feels like just a very high quality car that's gonna last for a very long time. And you know, it's one of the big positives of Lexus, right, is the reliability. It's such a reliable car. And so, yeah, it might not have all the same gadgets that you're gonna get with like a BMW or Mercedes or an Audi, but, you know, in 15 years, this thing will still be running strong, whereas those, we'll see with all the computers and everything they have going on what will happen. And, you know, from a driving perspective, this is a great car. Balance is great. It's really fun to drive. The engine's got a decent amount of power. The only thing that holds this car back, if I'm being honest, is just the transmission, right? Their 8-speed automatic's a good transmission. And they have that new 10-speed that they're using in a lot of vehicles as well. So I think that if Lexus, literally Lexus doesn't have to change anything with this car other than the transmission. If they just gave this the 8-speed at least, or, you know, the 10-speed would be great. If they gave us the new 10-speed, man, that would completely change this car. It would be, it's already great, but then it would be like perfect, pretty much. Now let's get sum things up for our video on this 2022 Lexus RC 350 F Sport. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with this car. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.